Oh, proud of yourself for being a decent human doesn't have to and should not be validated by anybody else. That should be your own. I know this was my intention. I walk with this. I do this certain type of thing. Navigating it and being successful, I don't know. You know what I mean? I really don't know, because talking about social norms, slavery was a social norm. So unless you're not willing to burn down, break down everything around you of that norm, then it's just gonna keep repeating. And to be honest, that's where, I sometimes really worry about the state of the Virgin Islands, because that accountability being that cuss word, or telling the truth seems to be, um, uh, I don't know what's the word for, or even worse than taboo. You become the issue or the enemy when you stand up for certain values and everything like that. We see it on multiple levels in different ways. You know what I mean? When the schools came out about families and dress codes and everything like that, everybody was, well, how you gonna tell me how to come to a meeting? And it became this, don't tell me nothing I can't. We definitely had that here a lot. And it does make me wonder about the future. So as far as being carved out and it's successful here with the way it is, unless you're ready to break everything and start everything new, I don't know.
I feel like I deal with love, right? But I'm not afraid to be unliked. There's conversations that that have sort of made me think about for a long time, and now I was just like, you are right. I don't know why you were caring about how much time people think about you. Because there were conversations where like groups of people have made videos, like put it on social media trying to debate me, and I don't mind debate, but then like debate me on a subject. So like I made a good point, but you make a subject about me being fat. You couldn't come with something else. Like, okay, it's obvious, and I still look hot.
Debate.
You know what I mean? So I and that's like a conversation I had when it really was awakening about, I don't play mass, both pretty mass and traditional mass. And my attack on well, not even attack, but my conversation, which I thought was generative, was about, are we spending too much time on, pretty mass, and we're not making sure that everybody feel including on our parade routes. And I think I lost people, and people who I thought had the capacity to have those kinds of conversations. Some people are still not talking to me. And then somebody who I thought who was definitely progressive, like make a whole video about my weight. I was like, are you making a video about my weight over a conversation about carnival and festival costumes? So and that's just one thing. And that's when I started to come into my energy most about having those conversations. And that's just like a little social thing. I'm still having a hard time, and I recently was asked to be on a panel to speak to young people, and I was like, well, how free can I really be to talk about it? Because I really think we need to talk about our workforce. Like, I really think that we need to talk about our workforce. I think it's been so challenging for me. And I've been working in the Virgin Islands government from the time I was like 15, when you joined the labor, the little labor, you got your little check, you know what I mean? And I just found it was so uninviting to young people, like, and I don't even consider myself young anymore, but almost.
You're so young.
And I don't ever pretend like I know everything, but I think we're asked a lot to bow to people just because they're older, not because that they're more progressive or more knowledgeable, just because you're older.
Well, I'll say this. Here's my take on it. I think we ask permission way too much.
Yeah.
Because them people who ruining the world and setting fires are not asking permission to do it. And
No,
they're doing
they
it
just
even
do
with
it.
laws in place. So I feel like if we want to seek justice in certain things, we got to stop asking permission to do the right thing.
Just
Oh,
go
but
right.
look, you're gonna see you're gonna start getting pushed in these little dark corners in workforces
And who
when
gonna
you
put me
start.
there? Who gonna put me there?
Who gonna check me,
And
boo?
that's the problem. And here's a big thing.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Who gonna check me, boo? No, because the thing is, I don't pretend like I know everything.
Right, yeah.
I know what I know.
Mm-hmm.
And if you challenge me on something that I know, let's go. I don't care about it getting out of hand. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? But if I don't know something, I will ask and get to that point where I'm like, I know what I know because I talked to this person. But you two are perfect examples of not asking for permission.
What you mean? What I do?
Too much permission.
No, that's the crazy thing.
No,
That's the
I
part-
asked for too much permission.
Just hear me. Allow me. Allow me. So in your situation, right? I feel like you are a culture bearer. Did you ask permission to be a historian?
Yeah.
Did you ask permission to
No.
start influencing and bringing up things like masquerading and stuff? You just did it because that's what's in your core. You know what I'm saying? Stop asking for permission to make good change. They're not asking permission to break stuff down. You know what I'm saying?
Please repeat that for the people in the back of the pew. Say it again, and could you just affirm Sister Chalana one more time?
Yeah.
This advice, once
I
again, is
find her
supported
to
by
be-
Dialogue 340. Please,
No,
Shanice,
truly, I
through
find
our
you to
app.
be one of the strongest and most influential and educational people. You got it. You gotta switch your focus.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Your focus is in the
Alright.
wrong space. Your focus is on what they're doing and what they're not allowing you to do.
Mhm.
You are not even seeing the impact that you're making because you worried about getting permission from folks
Yeah.
who ain't trying to give it to you.
Right.
Let it go.
Second tier.
Let it go.
The breakthrough episode.
We need to get sessions in.
Right.
We need to get sessions in.
Stop
Yeah.
asking.
Contact
There are
Dialogue
times to ask-
340.
There are times to ask permission. You ask permission to preserve things. When you ask Ase about her information and you reach out to these different leaders, that's when you ask permission because you want to preserve something. You don't impose what you believe and what you care about on history that's like tradition that's passed down. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's people out there who want to create new things, and instead of just creating new things, they're asking for permission from people who are stuck in tradition, and that's okay. We're just in two different realms. You are a creative person. You've been all over this world. Did you ask permission to go and show people your love of music, you know, or show your love through music? You did not, because that's your core.
Right.
You just are. When you feel like you have to start asking permission for something, you need to start looking at yourself like, what's the goal here? You know what I'm saying? Am I just looking for acceptance, or am I looking to feed my energy
Right.
and my gift to people? You don't need you don't need permission to give your gift. That wasn't even given to you by people. That's a spiritual thing. That was given to
Yeah.
you by God.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna ask permission, ask God, when is it the right time to give my gift? Not asking people, you know what I'm saying, are you gonna
When
accept
and
it?
Allow me to.
When and
right?
where,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Right.
because I know I was given this gift.
Right.
And I know I was given a gift to give it to people. I'm not asking people for permission, because that's the very thing that might break down a system. They're not gonna like that. But my goal on life
Yes.
is to be who I am at
You
my
gotta
core,
be.
which is why you have to be resolute in who you are. You have to have your codes, your morals, your values. Because if somebody could come in and shake you that easily,
Yep.
you not sound, and now you just look like them.
Right.
Now you bitter.
Absorb.
Now
yeah.
you just
You absorb. Yeah.
you're in your feelings, and you focus. You gotta focus. Y'all are great people. You know what I'm saying? Y'all doing big things. in
freaking
this
wonderful.
community.
I think, with that being
All
said,
right.
this has been Dialogue 340.
God gave me a gift. I'm
I
asking
think
people
there's
if I
a
can share my
spin-off
gift.
show
Stop.
here. I think there's a spin-off show with Shanice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a spin-off show.
Yeah, it's on the corner of the couch with Shanice.
On the corner of the couch.
But beware.
On the right corner.
No, yeah.
I can honestly say, truly, and maybe you've seen it, but I've been getting it back to me. One of my gifts is speaking life into people.
Oh.
You know, and it took me a long time to really accept that, because, like I said, I don't just be giving my opinion. And sometimes it's not an opinion. Somebody needs to hear it.
Here,
You know what I'm saying? But you got to use your discernment on, is this the right time?
Yeah.
You know, so I could tell you something that's the truth. You might not even be in the mindset.
And be
mind
ready
space
to
for it.
absorb it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But you stick with it and you hold on to that. And then it will be revealed to you like, oh, this is the moment. Like, actually, remember that one time? Yeah, you might not have been in the right with that. However, you know, and see, you're listening to me now because you're not in that situation. It's just you don't know. You don't know. Maybe it is in that situation and someone needs to hear something right now. Go with your gut. Follow your intuition, but also you need to know yourself a little bit more to do that. I am not just knowing myself, but I am on a journey
Yeah.
that I have completely and fully accepted.
Yeah.
And with that comes the responsibilities of who I am. And it's a lot sometimes because it's like, I can't say that to them. And God is like, and why not? They got red blood just like you.
Right.
Right? The only God in this room. Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if I can talk to God about anything, there's always a way to get the message across, you know, to a human being. This time, space, energy that you have to pass on. You just got to be like open, you know, to good and the bad. But do not absorb it. That's not yours. But hold up that mirror.
So
Boom.
we covered justice. We're discovering our pathways, but being fiercely protective of your ability to be autonomous in your creativity. I know that's a mouthful. I feel like that's where these strengths end up being manifested in its most beautiful form, because now you're just being creative. You're unafraid, you're unabashedly just creative. And like, Yesai, can you touch on when you hone in on that creativity, when you focus in on it, what does that do for you? How does that heal you? And maybe how does that heal others when you're unafraid to be creative with all of these structures in place?
You know, I think you probably just answered the question with the question. There's a certain creative space, a zone, a clairvoyant. I can't even really explain when you're in the zone, but we've are creatives in our own respect. I'm sure, you know, in the middle of a photo shoot or a filming or an interview or anything like that, and it's just whatever's coming to you. All right, this needs to be here, this set at this level. It's the same way, and it's very, you know, music has always been cathartic. So the healing, whatever I'm going through, I remember there was a piece of advice that somebody got from somebody else. But if you're upset or you're angry, play what you feel, create what you feel, and you'll navigate through and out of it. So it does, whether it's an emotion, whether I'm playing a certain type of chord or where a song goes, a tempo, it's that. As far as affecting others, I think, especially DJing, one of my favorite spaces to DJ are family events. Why? Because I know in history of music where certain samples may come from. So playing an old salsa song that got sampled in the new Bad Bunny or whatever it is, to see a grandmother grab their granddaughter and start dancing, literally put their walker to the side and start dancing to some Hector Lavoe, and they're moving, and then seeing that she's, you know, you never know how long people are going to be on the earth, but seeing that memory, you know, that child is never going to forget that time me and grandma was dancing in this certain thing. This was probably one of the last times I saw my grandmother be able to be mobile, was because this person decided to be in that zone, in that, I'm gonna say there is a spiritual aspect to DJing, especially when you know
For sure.
what you're doing. The music is a very spiritual thing.
Yeah.
It's our fault. You know what I mean? When fights break out, when you have an inexperienced DJ, I'll never forget. I was DJing.
Look here.
I was experienced. I was DJing in the Lower East Side, right across from Beauty in Essex, and they gave me the Friday night to, like, I was doing the Wednesday night, but you're good. You come to Friday. And this one dude was like, all right, play this record. And I played it. And he's like, now play this. I played it, and play this. I'm like, are you sure? Because a fight is going to break out if I play this. No, it's not. Just play it. As soon as I hit play, bow, it was about 3 girls. One grabbed one by the hair and started hitting. And I'm like, I'm turning the music down like security. No, keep the music going. I'm like, yo, you literally started a fight.
When I started going to the club at whatever age, that's one of the first things that I noticed. Why are you playing Nuck If You Buck at the last, when the lights coming on and it's the last?
You can't play Tear the Club Up.
Yeah, don't.
People don't
because
go
we gotta
and
go.
tear the
Y'all
club
gonna
up.
be in here safe. Y'all kicking us out, and we in the streets now, and people upset, and you stepping on my shoes. Don't play them type of things at the end of the. So that's
it all has a vibe.
And every energy is useful at a time. I'm good and bad. is it the same for me anymore? Like a great day for a lion is a real bad day for a zebra,
Yeah.
and then vice versa. You know what I mean?
Not a
So-
lot.
You might be a villain or somebody.
Right.
or-
You could be the villain, you could be the hero. It's all about one balance and understanding waves and times, what you have to be. And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, as far as being, if I'm gonna be the villain for standing up, telling the truth, breaking a certain
Yes, you gotta be
system,
okay
that
with that.
you gotta be okay. It's not a bad thing.
I want to talk a little bit about like music because I recently heard that the Billboard has sort of like dropped like dancehall from like having a rating system every week.
Did they?
Yeah, somewhat, and they picked up like Afrobeats because people are like more in proximity to listening to Afrobeats because it has like a nice melody, and you know sometimes dancehall music can be you know very aggressive and spew violence, but I mean that could be arguable because there's very
Yeah,
hardcore rap
hip-hop,
music
yeah.
and hip hop and so forth. So like, what's your take on like that vibe, like, and
I
the
didn't-
authority of somebody to dispel one sort of music for another?
I didn't hear about that. Before I speak on it, I would like to get a little more research because I didn't know that Billboard was in the position to take away genres, and I didn't know that they do that. So I don't know enough about that to say, here's my opinion on it. I feel like something I do have an opinion on is definitely the dancehall, reggaeton, and Afrobeats conversation, because everybody seems to be at a head with this. Oh, you got your
Yeah.
the flag.
I was gonna put on my whole Bad Bunny hat and everything, and I was like, "You're
Yo,
oversaying
shout out to Bad Bunny,
Yeah,
because
shout
man,
out.
bringing it back home,
Yeah.
stopping tours from certain places and saying, you
Yes.
know, I want to make sure home eats off of what I have, and
It's
now
beautiful. Did you watch the
No.
concert on Amazon?
Who, Bad Bunny?
I saw
Yeah,
some
the
of it.
concert, the
No,
free
not
concert.
yet, but
Oh
I'm
my god.
definitely gonna
Yeah.
get into that. I'll be under a rock, so.
But it goes back to what I was gonna say. You know, there's this big argument between dancehall and reggaeton, really, and it's I think everybody has to step back and realize it's all African rooted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Salsa, all these different things started out coming from Afro spiritualism songs that was brought up and saved by certain modalities of spiritualism. You know what I mean? And in the States, with Catholicism, brought a lot of ways, and I don't want to get into too much because people will be like, what is this guy talking about? But you could easily or easier syncretize your certain beliefs with what was going on. So there was a certain reservation. I don't know, preservation is the word that I'm looking for. There was a certain preservation of African spiritualism through certain songs and everything like that, that became what you know as salsa, what you came to know as dance hall, certain repetitious callback responses that became gospel, that became the blues, and everything, every place that we got put, there was a certain type of influence, there was a certain type of spirit behind the music that we just created wherever we were put using what we had.
Yeah, honestly, going back to like the root question, like creativity.
Mhm.
I hate to be going so deep. Yeah.
Go ahead and go. Be yourself. You are deep. How could you not be?
It is what you are.
Yes. What you are saying is the core
Right.
of who you are.
Right.
That's why I just be at home just chilling. Because I mean, sometimes I'll be like, girl, you don't have to go that deep. But for me, with creativity, when you talk about God, if you don't want to say God, you don't want to say Allah, you don't want to say Buddha, you say the creator.
Mhm.
That is one of the highest frequencies that people don't even realize. Creation is necessary. We are creation. When you feel the need to create, that is, like you said, it is a spiritual thing in any capacity. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta be careful of what spirits is carrying you through. You know what I'm saying? Because you can create chaos too. Chaos is not always bad, because there was
There you
chaos when
go.
we was getting rid of slavery.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was a lot of chaos.
We
in
just
that.
came off a contract.
You know what I'm saying? So like, what are you creating? You have to go into creativity in the mindset that you don't know what it's gonna grow into. We didn't see rock and roll growing into a something that was different complected. We didn't see country music being that. Black people created these things not knowing that they would be X'd out of it later.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't go into creativity saying that this is going to be ours forever. This is going to be it. Because certain things have to take place, you know, for it to either come back around or for it to grow into something else. So when I'm being creative, I feel like that's one of the ways that, you know, I'm being called to something, like my attention is being called to something. Back in the day, I would like paint and do a lot of art, and, you know, oil on canvas, acrylics, all the things. I don't do it as much anymore. That creativity never left me though. It changes forms. I never saw fashion as my creativity, but I am expressing myself.
I just want to say that I wore my outfit with Shanice vibes today. This is totally
Shanice vibes.
And we're all
aesthetic.
matching. Yeah.
And if you get the aesthetic, this is this ode to Shanice
with
with shoes.
denim color. Yeah, but you see, I'm just getting dressed in my creativity. And
Yeah.
look, somebody else is looking at me like, damn, that look good. And now they want to create something. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get dressed to say, hey, maybe Chalana or whoever else is going to dress like. No, I just wanted to do my thing.
Yes.
And then it inspired her
Yeah.
or influenced her to do what she wanted to do. We are dressed alike, but we don't look the same. We could have been
She
wearing
did
the
not
same
call
outfits.
me. She did not call me.
Yeah,
We could have
don't
worn the
call
same
nobody.
outfit, but how she presents it in her creativity is different from how I present it in mine. But when you're being called to create, don't go into it thinking like this is for me, this is for her, this is such and such. You never know who you're gonna touch.
Right.
Just create
Yeah,
because that's a message from God.
Yes,
Truly,
Exactly.
truly
you know,
is.
just create.
Absolutely.
That's why I don't like to be like I also in this panel that I was in, I was like, they were asking all these questions about the Virgin Islands, and I was like, I mean, I know that my ancestry comes from the Virgin Islands, and I know that I reside here, but I feel like I'm a global citizen.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm just like a Virgin Islander. I mean, like
But we
the
are
story,
diaspora.
is like
We
part
are
of
diaspora,
a
though.
larger story, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't like to think about myself as like just like local. Like all my ideas and who my being is wrapped up in something even like larger.
Yeah,
So-
let your region stop your
Yeah,
creativity.
exactly.
Create.
Do you feel like the region is inviting of that global mentality?
I think that's
Inviting.
a really good
Is it
question. Inviting? I think this is a double-edged sword.
most things are. Most
I
things
think
are.
our whole identity is sort of like a hybrid identity, right? So like we are you know wrapped in creolization a lot, you know. So even just who we are right now isn't straight, you know, West African. And we have a lot of Eurocentric parts of our ideologies and the culture that we have absorbed. Some of it is good and some of it is bad. And even with like, I would like to talk about like, I freaking love Virgin Islands, and I'm gonna use this like, yes, synonymous. I love Virgin Islands beats, but like, if we keep thinking of ourselves as just like making music for the Virgin Islands,
Correct.
like we are going to stronghold ourselves from being able to reach a global audience. I was like, nobody does beats like Virgin Islanders. Like when that beat come on, I don't be like, I ready.
Yeah.
But then it has like a whap 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 when like the lyrics hit. You know what I mean? I like how much times you could tell me to bend over or
You know what?
or drop to the ground.
I've gotten into some similar conversations
It's
with
like
some.
after a while, it's been 30 years now of bending over and dropping to the
You know,
ground.
there's definitely gonna be some certain, since we're in this, and there's a lot of people that are gonna be like, "What? She talking about me?" Nah.
You can make
One,
another fat
if it-
video. Make another fat video. I'll still be hot. Make another fat video.
What the kids be doing?
And if anybody knows me, look up Brick House. Ain't nobody could drop it like me. Okay? All right.
I mean, let me
So,
don't they pop your collar?
listen, let's globalize. Let's globalize. Let's globalize.
I definitely, because that is a conversation. I want to give some definite flowers to people like, you know, Third. His quality of music and writing is just always eye bar eye. Cruise Rock, even though everybody's mad at him about the Callaloo.
Is it coconut milk?
Is it coconut milk in your
Well,
Callaloo?
isn't that
It's a different island thing, a
right,
Trinidadian
yes,
thing. It's
just
fine.
that
It's okay.
part of the Black Atlantic?
And listen, the people of Martha, it's fine. It's okay. If people come in to try a new thing, it's marketing. It's good. You don't got to
Yeah.
be vexed with him to talk about the Callaloo and coconut milk. That's a whole different conversation. Right?
And that's actually this conversation. Stop asking permission. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do
do
the
it.
thing. And
Yeah.
if I think, to me, and I can't speak for everybody else, to me it was a good thing because I was like, you know what? I don't think I've ever had coconut milk in the Callaloo. I want to try
Yeah, why
to
not?
see what it is.
Yeah.
To me, I made this whole little story song about it. To me, it's not Callaloo. It's more like
It
Aito
was
stew.
it was an Aito stew.
It's
That's what
a
I
Aito
know.
stew.
It's, no, it's what I know as an Aito stew. But I'm
Right.
not going to make like a comparable of what's better or worse. It's just
It
different.
doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
different.
It's just different.
Enjoy it in
Yeah.
the way you enjoy
That was
it.
a funny song
It's
though.
fun. But yeah, I've lost my track of thought. But there's definitely a lot of artists. Shout out to Pumper. He got his flowers too. That have
Big
been
up to
touring.
Pumper.
Yeah, big up Pumper, going all over and traveling, making his own way. But there has been quite like a core of people that have been writing for like this isn't just a regional thing. This is gonna reach a little bit further.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can't wait for us. I can't wait.
I
Yeah.
have this thing. I have this thing where I call something an island mentality, and it's not what you think. It's not an island as in like St. Croix, St. Thomas, Guyana, wherever. It's literally an isolated way of thinking, and it's small. Islands are small and surrounded by
By water,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So if you've never been outside that island, you can't see
It's
how
anybody. You
huge
could
the
be in
world is.
Idaho. You could be like
You
in
don't
some
know.
obscure.
How
like,
about
space.
they have soca and carnival in Japan?
Yes, they do.
Right.
Like
Shout out to
a
Nadia.
whole-
Yeah.
A whole
Going out
thing.
there,
A
yep.
lot of people do not know that.
Mhm.
But I call it the island
In
mentality
Germany,
because
too.
you just don't know who you're going to affect.
Affect,
But if you're only looking at what's going on this island, you will never see the effects of, like you said, a global citizen, the global effect of things.
And that's why, excuse me, that's why I never really understood our artists. You hear these beefs and these different things that be going on. It never made sense because you could be the biggest thing out of St. Croix, take everybody from St. Croix, have the biggest $1 million budget to bring everybody to a stadium, sit everybody in a stadium, and the stadium is still half empty.
Yeah, it's not.
It
big
doesn't
enough.
make sense. What are we
Yeah.
really fighting
Fighting over. It's
Yeah.
not big enough.
We
Yeah.
need to be working together, every type of
Together.
different genres, put in
Halloween.
whatever we have to the side and say, nah, we're going to create and be a beacon. And I've
Yeah.
always said that, like, if we could really connect on that level,
Just create.
there's no stopping.
Literally just create.
Just create.
Just create.
So I think that's
Create and collaborate.
also an awesome way to end with a nice call to action for those who once again need to understand this is Shanice's corner. open
The
from
right
8
corner.
The right
Right
corner.
corner.
The right
between 8 to
corner.
5. Just contact Dialogue Free Phobia. We'll book your session. Get a 10%
Like I do
coupon
that,
when you
too.
also book DJ Yesai.
Hey.
Yeah,
As
there
well
you go.
as
We
Chalana.
got to work out there. I don't know about that. We good.
That's great. Yeah.
So,
3-for-1 special.
Type
What?
in dialogue.
Yeah, tight dialogue. What would be your creative support? What would be your call to action about being creative in your own space? How would you help the community just understand that they're beautiful and their God-given right to create? And let's end on something really positive. I'll start with Lady Chalana.
Thank you, Shanice. You really inspired me today. Yeah.
You see,
Thank
just
you so
create.
much.
Be yourself.
Yeah, so I think everybody has these God-given talents, and once is serving for the light and purpose of elevating somebody or communities, and be a hero.
Mhm.
Yeah, be a hero.
Yeah.
In anything that you do. So this community, we've seen it throughout historical evidence. Like, we've changed and we've made things ours through our architecture, through the evolution of, being in a field and having what you call enslaved songs, for it becoming, cariso, for it becoming calypso. So now it becoming soca and now bram.
Yeah, there you go. I
which
like
you heavily defend.
I like that
I like
Bram.
Bram.
I
Bram
like
is
Bram.
great.
No one asked for all these other genres to
Right.
be why we can't make one.
Yes.
Stop asking that permission. Bram.
Mhm.
Bram
Yeah,
forever.
just make it beautiful. Yeah, just make it beautiful and make it touch. Make it touch and make it impactful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
100%. So for me, what I'm focusing on as far as creating is creating pathways for the next generation. So I am on a board for a majorettes team. And some people be like, oh, just like majorettes is just like baton twirling and
No.
dancing. No, I'm
It's
actually in a
building.
space where we're building not just a team. We're building an ecosystem for these young women and young men too. So they may not be dancing, but there's young men who come to our practice who support the young women who are on the team, like little brothers and stuff like that. So why I say I'm just creating a pathway is because in my lifetime, you know, like I would dance and I have experienced different things that these kids don't even know they can do. You know what I'm saying? So like creating a space where it's like, you don't got to stop at majorettes. This builds character. This builds community. This builds your self-esteem. This builds all these things within these, you know, small minds, or not small, like, but they're just little people. You know, you build these things and instill those things within them so that they know that you don't ever have to stop where you are.
Correct.
You got to keep going. And sometimes it may lead you away, but do that. There's so many dancers that I can call out, like Elle Nielsen, and then you have
The lady from Denver.
Essie, you have all these you have all these people, you know, who have traveled the world, you know, to do dance. These little girls don't even know that you could do that. They just think that they're just going down the road for carnival and stuff. So the thing that I'm creating is just open-mindedness.
Yes.
You know, you got to create that open mind, because obviously in the earlier generations they're not as open-minded. I will not be passing that on.
Yeah, do something.
Everyone's like, just stay home and no.
You
can travel the world. Home gonna be here.
Yeah.
You've
travel.
got to leave in order to give the fruitfulness back to where we
Global
are.
citizen.
Global citizenship. Go see the world, and what you're doing here. A lot of people in pageantry. Janisha John was a pageant. There's just a pageant girl from Little Old St. Croix. Where is she now? You got to keep those little minds open.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Don't ever let them create a box for you, for them, for anything. You got to rip that thing open and create an open mind. So that's where I rip it. I have my own little 10-year-old mind that I need to mold.
Whenever you're playing there's your thing, rip it.
Just rip
Rip
it.
it open. Rip it.
Rip them boxes open and let those minds just go, and you can guide them. You know what I'm saying? Guide them and say, you know, just be available. You know, some of them don't like to be told what to do. Anyway, it might be me also, but you got to make sure that you just be available.
Give them the opportunity.
Yeah, don't shut them down when they come and ask for advice. Like we have been shut out and shut down.
Totally.
It is now with whether you like to believe it or not, the torch has been passed.
Yeah.
I ain't even see it.
Yeah.
Because
Just
before
in your hand.
I don't
Right.
know.
You just leave.
When did we become the adults?
Yeah,
it's
when did
crazy
it
because
happen?
you know what's crazy? I just said this to someone. I was like, you know, you'd be looking for the elders to be like, you remember when they used to create these teams and they used to create these conversations? Maybe we the elders.
We are.
I was like, yeah, when
we
did it
have
happen?
to go out and create it. And
Yeah.
now we are held responsible in what we pass down. Because we know what was passed to us.
And what
Ain't
was it?
feel so good. You know
And
what
what
I'm saying?
was it?
We are at the authority where we can leave the nastiness and just
Yeah.
bring in like a new thing. So create that atmosphere instead of just the island mentality where it's like you just hear and that's what it has to be. Absolutely not. This world is huge.
Yeah.
And you could travel your whole life and still not see the whole world. Let that be the mentality to just always seek knowledge and seek opportunities and seek growth. That's it. Create that.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I was just recently in Colombia with Cruise Rock at a show, and while we're DJing, the first DJ comes up. I hear, "I'm so proud to be from the VI." This is straight Colombian play on Virgin Islands. Nice. Next thing you know, in the middle of our set, somebody from St. Thomas comes up. Like, I heard this music. What was going on? And it's like now you travel, see the world, because you never know. But there's always gonna be an aspect of home. That's gonna be with
home
you.
is with you. Home is where the heart is. I don't have to stay here to be home. I lived most of my states in the States, and I still came home physically because I wanted to. I never felt that home left me.
Right.
Ever, ever, ever. Home is where I am because I am an embodiment of my culture.
Exactly.
And I'm tasked to, spread that.
Absolutely. My advice, I guess I'm bring it down into a macro, whoever I'm talking to. One, understand, this is going to sound weird, but hate and love are the same thing, just the opposite side of that spectrum wave. Meaning, the last thing you want is anything you put out to be indifferent about. So if you experience something and you put out a piece of artwork, a piece of music, and somebody looks at that and says, I hate this thing, you got them. You did something right.
Invoked
them.
some
You
kind of
invoked
energy.
in a type of emotion,
Yep.
a type of energy. It is something that you did. Don't worry about, oh man, they don't like it. They even hate this stuff. No,
point.
you got them. Me personally, I hate that. What's that? We were talking about it. The Salem's furniture. I hate that commercial.
Look, my
But
phone ain't
I
going
know
with my
enough
phone here.
about that dynamic of,
wanna
you know
be
what,
aggravated.
it's doing a good job, because now if I'm in St. Thomas, I know Salem Furniture.
Furniture.
Wait, I got to stop. This is free pub.
Right.
I'm on Dialogue 340. I don't know. He's giving 10% discount, so I guess I
Right.
could do it. But never
Maybe you
be.
could get a piece of furniture off of it
I know,
now,
right? Exactly. A chair or something, a studio chair. All right, Salem, I holler.
Yes.
Yeah.
But going back, hate and love are the same emotion, just on the opposite side of a spectrum. So when you're creating, don't have a fear of, is this person gonna like this? Are they gonna hate this? I don't even. No, you just have that fire, stoke that fire, put it out, and then let them do whatever they do with it. But at least create and do that. Don't put yourself in a box of fear of wondering how it's gonna be received. If you know, as most artists do, there is a certain fire. I need to do this and get this out. Put it out.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think we had a great conversation.
I think so.
Words of encouragement.
Oh my God. I'm booking a session.
Exactly, right? Hit up
Okay.
Dialogue 340. But yeah, thanks again. Another great episode. I am very thankful to be here and asked to be a part of it. Again, you can find me DJ Yesai, DJ YESSAI on Instagram, Facebook. I guess we'll close out.
Yeah. So everyone calls me Sha, but my name is Shanice Wilson. On Facebook, it's Shanice Miss Sunshine Wilson. And then on Instagram, it's sunshine_hype211. I kept it from the original. I'm not changing it. I don't remember what my TikTok is. I just go on there to just view content. But yeah, ask our producer.
Where you can find it. We'll put it in the caption.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I'll take my time to close out, because she always tells me, ask for permission. I have a wonderful program. I hope you can come down to it. We are trying to steward our fledgling masquerading traditions. So we have practices mostly every Thursday at the Boys and Girls Club. There is a session for young adults and for children. So go to Keeping Masquerading Traditions Alive. My name is Stephanie Chalana Brown.
And there it is. It's been another great episode. We will see you next time.
Shout out to FLP Legacy Majorist team.
Hey. That was the flip and the catch.